We'll call the regular meeting of the Upshur County Commission to order. We'll begin with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time we'll have the reading of the minutes of the February 28, 2013 Upshur County Commission meeting.
The County Commission of Upshur County, West Virginia, held their regular meeting at the Courthouse Annex on Thursday, February 28, 2013 at 9 a.m. Commissioner Donnie Tenney called the meeting to order. There were present Donnie Tenney, Commissioner, J.C. Rafferty, Commissioner, Troy Brady, Commissioner, William Parker, County Administrator, Megan Pomeroy, Assistant County Administrator, and Jacqueline Dinklocker, Secretary. The meeting began with a moment of silent meditation and prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All motions passed unanimously unless otherwise stated. After reading of the minutes on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved the regular meeting minutes of February 14, 2013 as submitted. Buchanan Upshur Youth Leadership Institute of Governmental Affairs Representative Richard Edwards appeared before the Commission and provided an overview of the upcoming educational opportunity. High school age participants will be able to observe and learn about operations of local government. The Institute will meet weekly on Wednesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. from March 6 through April 24, 2013, and cover many local government-related topics in areas such as finance, public works, parks and recreation, economic development, planning and public safety, education, and others. David Kaufman, Upshur County Sheriff, and Mike Miller, Upshur County Animal Control Officer, appeared before the Commission and provided a request for reimburses of expenses to an individual in the amount of $525 for the care of an animal in a humane case. After discussion on motion by Troy Brady, seconded by J.C. Rafferty, the Commission approved to sell the Holstein calf at livestock auction to offset some of the cost. William Parker requested Mike Miller to obtain an invoice itemizing expenses. Donnie Tenney introduced Mike Miller as the new Animal Control Officer. Mr. Miller commented that as an animal lover, he feels like he is making a contribution to the community and can make a difference, and that's a paraphrase, not a quote. William Parker advised that agenda item number 1, consider approval of agreement with the Upshur County Board of Education concerning the Prevention Resource Officer, was not ready for action at this time and will be placed on a future agenda. Donnie Tenney reviewed the West Virginia Division of Justice and Community Services standard conditions and assurances, which apply to the grant for the PRO program. After discussion on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission approved and authorized the President to sign the document. William Parker advised that Debbie Thacker-Wilfong, Upshur County Clerk, has repaid the amount of $171.10 to the county for an item that was inadvertently listed twice as a travel expense and undocumented expenses during fiscal year 2009-2010 and 2010-2011. Mr. Parker was requested to follow up with Ms. Wilfong concerning an additional expense in the amount of $75. The Commission reviewed the following for your information items. Number 1, notice of public hearing, amendment to enhance 911 ordinances, 11 a.m. on Thursday, April 4, 2013. Increase from current monthly fee of $2.65 to residential, $4.50, business and Centrex, $6.50. Number 2, correspondence from Elkins Road Public Service District concerning Phase 2 Waterline Extension Project. Number 3, Upshur County Sheriff's Financial Statement, January 2013. Number 4, Financial Information for January and fiscal year to date, General County Fund. Number 5, Dog Warden Report, January 2013. Number 6, Agendas and/or notices of meetings as listed. Number 7, Meeting minutes and/or financial reports as listed. Number 8, Meetings as listed. Number 9, Appointments needed or upcoming as listed. The Commission approved all invoices for payment. The Commission approved all vacation orders. The Commission approved the following settlements as listed. The Commission approved the following exonerations and/or refunds as listed. The Commission approved the following requests to attend meetings as listed. The Commission approved the following consolidation of land tracts as listed. William Parker provided a review of the following correspondence. Carol Dean, E911 Communications Center dispatcher, concerning hazardous conditions due to inclement weather conditions at the E911 Communications Center. West Virginia Division of Culture and History invitation to ceremony recognizing the recipients of Records Management and Preservation Board grant awards for fiscal year 2013-2014. Upshur County Office of the Prosecuting Attorney concerning review of June 30, 2011 and June 30, 2012 audit reports. Southern Upshur Business Association concerning annual dinner on Wednesday, March 6, 2013. With no further business, on motion by J.C. Rafferty, seconded by Troy Brady, the Commission meeting adjourned at 11:25 a.m.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as read? If not, I'd ask for a motion to be approved as such. Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And we will have our minutes for board review and equalization at a later date, hopefully next week. Parker? Okay, we have with us Micah Head Harris, Community Corrections Director, approved submission of Community Corrections Grant. FY 13-14, $378,140.
What I'm giving you right there is,
Thank you, sir.
as of July 1, that's the number of referrals we have gotten out of magistrate court. So I totaled up their suspended jail sentence that they would be setting in regional jail had they not been sentenced to us, and that's a total of 2,240 days. And the total savings is $108,843.40. That is as of March 1st. I think we've received 2 new referrals since then. So, that will change that. However, you can look down there and see that the majority of the offenses we get are some type of domestic-related offenses, whether that be domestic battery, domestic assault, violation of a protective order. But I just wanted to present this to you guys today. That way you can see the number of referrals we've gotten. And these are strictly out of magistrate court. So.
Is this compared to last year about the same, up, down?
Our numbers are down here in Upshur County. They're down here in Upshur County. However, in Lewis and Braxton, as of March 1st, I think, Lewis County's received 62 new referrals. I mean, Lewis County's, whenever I presented this to their commission, they've got a 3-page savings report, whereas we have 1.
Now, is that because of the different type of reasons people were arrested, or is that the difference in the attitude of the individuals that make the decision?
They're getting a lot of condition of bond people out of the magistrate's office over there. While they're awaiting their hearing, she has a bunch of people that just recently got busted on a meth bust over there, and they're on condition of bond, and they're having to report to us until their case is bound over to circuit court. So she gets a lot of bond clients over there, but both magistrates are new over there, and they're really utilizing the program very well.
So instead of, say they're caught, put in jail, they can't make their bond. If they can't make their bond, they stay in jail until their trial, right? And so what they're doing, instead of putting them in jail on bond, they put them on home confinement.
They're putting them on community corrections.
Right.
Yeah, they're reducing their bond, or they may not even set a bond amount, and they're saying as a condition of your bond, you're going to community corrections, and instead of them sitting in jail until they have their hearing, they're reporting in drug screening. You know, we can't make them do services because they're innocent till proven guilty, but we can offer all the services, drug screen, all of the above. So that's really how they're utilizing the program a lot.
Are they asked Rodney, in conjunction with that, or are they putting them on home confinement also, or do you know?
I know in Braxton they are. In Lewis, their home confinement is getting better with the so where they, you know, used to only have 4 or 5. I think they're up around 10 or 15, you know, a month now. So it's increasing as well with the new sheriff there.
So I understand what you've said. As a condition of being released, the magistrate informs the defendant that he or she must participate in the community corrections program.
Yes.
So even though the community corrections participation till proven guilty is voluntary, it is a condition of release by the magistrate.
Yes, they're required to take drug screens. However, like, we can't make them do community service, you know, but it also can make them look good when they go to court time that they've, you know, been in substance abuse treatment, done A, B, and C while they've been out on bond. But that is the majority. On our regular referral paper that the judiciary has, they're just writing on there as condition of bond.
So in essence, it's a distinction without distinction.
Yes. Yep, their attorney, they're signing, magistrate's signing, and that's how it's really working over there.
And it's a benefit to the county.
Yes.
In terms of their financial position.
Yes. I mean, Michelle, bless her heart, over in Lewis County, she's just overworked and stuff because she's bombarded with clients, which is part of the reason you see a large increase in the grant this year, is because we're putting a position in to try to get a full-time case aide over there, which would be a male. Well, I can't say that it would be a male. Hopefully would be a male to, you know, help drug screen, help all the overflow of clients over there. Braxton numbers are increasing dramatically too. So I also put in there for a full-time counselor. All this is contingent upon the grant. You know, sometimes it's better to ask for more money and have to weed out having more money budgeted for than you actually need. So that's a big part of why there was a significant increase this year.
So Lewis is up, Braxton's up, and Upsher's down. Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Well, I think we need to start having our meetings.
One of the individuals that Mike is talking about, you asked Rodney about home confinement. Those individuals, you know, if they've not been found guilty of anything, would not be on home confinement yet. They would just be.
Can it be a condition of the bond like community correction?
Yeah,
it
home confinement is a.
Rodney's saying it can be.
It's a sentence.
Huh?
That's a sentence.
We have had them as condition of bond for home confinement.
Okay.
So.
We get a good bit out of circuit conditional bond on home confinement.
So they have the choice. They can either go
Yes.
on, they can either, it gives them a choice, it's not mandatory. Just like the community corrections program, it's a choice.
Right.
You can either do that or you can sit in jail.
Yes.
Or make your bond.
And the majority of time, they're either coming up with the money or their attorney's signing away, and they're going to do anything they can to get out of jail. So,
But it sounds like he may have numbers waiting on bond, I'm assuming, in regional jail or?
us,
Yes, an Upshur. When I say us.
we very rarely get condition of bond people out of magistrate here. I think on this list right here, I have one individual since July of 1 that was a condition of bond. He was on the program for 151 days. And, you know, 151 days times 4880, $7,000 just for that one individual while he was out on bond that he would have been setting in regional. So I really think that would increase our numbers and our county savings if we had more condition of bond clients that was offered to them.
All right.
So that's the two reasons you really see a significant increase in our budget this year. We also have some required trainings that the grant are making us attend. We've been included with the probation conference that they have in Charleston end of October. So I had to account for some extra training money in there. So it's all contingent upon grant fundings. I don't know if we'll receive that much or not, but that's What's that?
Okay, any other questions for Michael?
The people that Lewis County, Braxton County has went on this program, has any of them violated the program while being?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we kind of have if they're out on bond, we have to keep a kind of closer eye on, not that we don't keep a close eye on them if they're sentenced to us, but if they're on bond, we keep an extremely, extremely close eye on them. And there's a lot of times that they'll keep using or whatever, and they'll violate, which they've been given an opportunity. So then it's a violation of their bond. So then they may go set in regional until they're hearing.
Do you know what the percentage of that would be?
I do not. I could get that, though.
Thank you.
Okay. There's no other questions. We need a motion to approve submission of the Community Corrections Grant.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
One thing, and I've mentioned it to Micah and Rodney, is right now we're functioning as their fiscal agent, which, as it relates to the number of people on our payroll, and what I'm getting at is our desire to stay at less than 100 employees.
Right.
If, I'm not saying, because the grant's going under the county commission for the next fiscal year, if that needed to change in Lewis County, or for example, would that be a problem in Charleston, or do you know?
As the physical agency, if that were to change?
Yeah. If the grant went suddenly from, after it was submitted from Upshur to Lewis, would that be a problem for the program or not?
I don't really know how to answer that to you. I would say that I'll have to go back through and do, I know I'd have to resubmit the application again. So if that were to be a case,
I'm not saying it'll change right now. Let's assume come June, after everybody's approved, assuming you get the grant approved in full amount, and you just...
See, I don't know how that would work since the money will already be allotted at that point. We'll basically, as of probably the end of May, we'll know how much money we've been allotted, and then it'll be allotted to Upshur County. So I don't know how that'll work. I can call Charleston.
If you could check and just let me know, not saying that all commissions would have to agree at the board.
Yeah, because then,
Along those lines.
I would need some heads up to be able to speak to Lewis County to see
Right.
if they'd even be willing or have the budget to do it. So, yeah.
Okay.
That wouldn't be an easy switch. I mean, for everybody.
Right. Yeah. So I can check that.
It'd be easier if you switched when you submitted the grant.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but time-wise, that wouldn't
Well,
be
not
practical.
this year.
Yeah.
Not this year, but maybe you could check and see, and if that wouldn't be a problem, and that's something Lewis County would be willing to do, then maybe the next fiscal grant, your grant, would be something that we could look at, as opposed to changing in the middle of the street.
Right. Yeah, it would be easier to do at the beginning up
Right.
front than it would halfway
We
through.
might check on both of those options, see what they say.
Okay.
All
Because
right.
if we do switch, there'll be also some ramifications for the employees in the program going from one county to another,
As far
possibly.
as payroll.
Depending on how the commissions, would handle it, yes.
Right. Is that like if they were to count our years of service and all that stuff at our
Well, yeah,
retirement?
that, but, I know insurance is a different program and et cetera. So, yeah, there's many factors we
Right.
have to look at.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Next up is Rodney Rollison, Deputy Sheriff, and Home Confinement Report. Morning, Rodney.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you all today?
Good.
Thank you.
I provided you all with a folder there that outlines the entire fiscal year 2012 and the home confinement report. We can just go through it, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. If you look on the second page there, for the year 2012, the home confinement program collected $75,682. The total number of clients we had this year was 75, which led the county to save about $434,856.64 in
Almost
regional jail.
$500,000.
Yes, in regional jail fees. The amount paid out for the monitoring was about $16,000, almost $17,000. Broke it down month to month, so you can see on the next page of the fees that were collected. So you can see month to month exactly how much that we took in at the home confinement office. On the next page, you'll notice went back 3 years just to show you of the fees that were collected in 2010, 2011, 2012. And if you'll notice, the fees that collected from 2011 to 2012, it's going to be a little bit more, but we didn't have as many reduction in fees as what we did last year. I know we discussed that last year, but this year there wasn't as many. So we took in, if you look at the next page, we took in less clients, but we took in more money. And that was because of the fee reduction.
So why is that, Rodney? Why you're saying it was more reduction last year than this year?
Yes, last year for some reason it seemed like every client that you had placed on home confinement, they would immediately go to circuit court if they were out of match and ask for a fee reduction, and most generally it was always granted. And when you go from $10 to $5, it's a substantial hit money-wise.
Why, you know why that it was so much last year and it's not so much this year? I mean,
I don't know. It seemed like last year everybody, all the defense attorneys seemed, we would have them before we even got them put on home confinement. You already had a court date set in circuit court to get them reduced. So I can't understand why it hasn't been that much this year. But, and I think maybe also we have a lot more home confinement clients this year that were actually working rather than staying home.
Maybe wouldn't have qualified.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
The next page, you'll see that from 2010 we had 86 clients, 2011 we had 91, 2012 we've had 75 clients. I know before in the past, you gentlemen have asked me to break it down by individual magistrates, circuit court, and everything. If you'll see on the next page, it was broken down so you can see exactly which magistrate, how many we got from each magistrate, how many got some circuit, and then how many we got from like other jurisdictions.
Like the jumps right out at you when you have it illustrated in that manner.
So what would be the dollar amount in savings for each one of these numbers? Is that hard to determine, or because I guess they're on home confinement for a different length of time?
Yes.
So it'd be kind of hard to determine what the dollar amount.
Yeah, you'd have to go back through each order and see exactly which client that was sent to you.
Right. Over the course of the year, you could figure the average per client, right?
Right.
You could do that math, I guess.
It would not be an insignificant amount of money.
Right. Yeah.
But as you can see, Magistrate Kaufman sent us 38. Magistrate Adams, we received 9. Circuit Court 15, and other jurisdictions, with maybe from other counties, we received 8.
Okay.
Had about 14 violations this year. And that was down from the previous 2 years. And then on the last page, I broke it down pretty much by offenses, so you can see exactly which clients and which offenses were sent to us.
Okay. Some interesting facts and data.
And it's an important function that you perform, Rodney. Appreciate your efforts.
Oh, thank
The
you very
efforts of
much.
your office as well, Rankin.
And we recognize that you're in a position where you can only do what magistrates in the circuit court and others send your way.
Yes, sir.
You don't have too much control over other than handling what they give you.
Right, yeah. I get involved when they send them to me. I've spoke with several of them to see, if there's any more that we can do. I've been told that that's what they can do is what we've been given. So, we could even utilize condition of bond clients too. We have several times, like especially the domestics, they'll put them on home confinement as a condition of their bond, so they know exactly that they're going to be home, and especially your bad domestics. So, I think our numbers could be higher.
That's something we're working on.
I do know that 2 years I've been on the commission, or a little over 2 years, I know you take your job seriously, and that appreciate that. I know
Thank
everybody else does as well. Sheriff's lucky to have someone such as yourself in that position.
Rodney, thanks for everything.
Thank you.
I appreciate the book. Certainly explained a lot. SSC, exactly where it goes, and how many different magistrate sends, who sends you the most. Thanks for doing an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney.
All right.
Okay, we now have Sheila Adams, our sheriff tax deputy. If you'd like to step up, Sheila, and bend the microphone down.
Or as Virgil used to say, the brains of the outfit.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, we have an opening in our office. Wendy Bass has resigned her position. She is moving and has found other employment. And Amy Atwell, who is currently our fire fee clerk, has asked to be transferred into that position. And the sheriff and I have met with her, and we would like for her to be transferred into that, and we need the commission's approval for that, to do a lateral transfer, to transfer in that, and then we will advertise for a fire fee clerk. We have
Okay.
notified the fire board members that this has occurred, and told them that, that we'll take care of this as soon as possible, and in the meantime, the transition will occur much as it did when Wendy was the fire fee clerk and Amy came in, which the fire board items will still be handled and be taken care of. And Amy will be transitioning and kind of doing both things for a period of time until we can get somebody in and get them trained.
Okay, so do we need to approve the resignation? Are we involved in?
It
The sheriff-
does not
No,
require.
just the hiring.
Yes.
Okay, so, well, we'd like to commend Wendy and thank her for her service to the county.
She has been a wonderful employee.
She's been a valuable asset, and we
She has.
wish her well in her future endeavors. And would need a motion to approve the reassignment of Amy Atwell from the fire fee assistant to the tax office deputy. We have a motion to do that.
I'll reluctantly make that motion because Amy has done a superb job for the fire board, and we will miss her, but I know that she will do an excellent job for the sheriff's office and the tax department. So I will move to authorize that reassignment.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
And we need a motion to approve the advertisement for a fire fee assistant position. We have a motion to approve that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, Sheila, thank you very much. Sheriff, good to see you again.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is approval of cooperative agreement with West Virginia Citizens Corps, award agreement number 11, CCMOA for $2,000. That's our CERT team. And our mini grant of $2,000. So do we have a motion that we approve this agreement?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? This is money, Willie, that'll be used for needed.
I think they're purchasing equipment, a computer with that, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
okay. Computer. Keep track of what everybody's doing out in the field, the search team members.
Evidently so.
Okay, well, that's good. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Approval and signature on correspondence to First Energy Corporation regarding maintenance of right-of-ways. We've had some concerns by the commission that was expressed when we met with representatives from First Energy, and we've had citizens that have contacted us concerning the power outages. And so we have a letter. We've asked Megan, and she's done a very good job in drafting this letter.
My copy, Commissioner Brady's name is absent. Is that intentional, or?
Yes, there's a ongoing issue with Commissioner Brady and the entity involved.
Okay, I understand.
So
So he has to
he thought it would
repeat
be best, and we concurred that to remain neutral in this
Well, I just wanted to
situation.
make sure that we followed Benjamin Franklin's old adage that we all hang together, we all hang separately. So,
Well, he's just hanging with a different road.
that's right.
Well, I'm going to read this letter for the benefit of those that don't have a copy in front of them. It's addressed to the First Energy Corporation. Attention, M. Gregory Hefner, and Clarksburg, Mr. Hefner. Over the past year, Upshur County has experienced an increase in unusual weather events. It is out of concern for our citizens that we are writing this letter. In July 2012, the derecho windstorm blew through Upshur County and left residents powerless for days while experiencing record temperatures. In October and November of 2012, Superstorm Sandy hit our residents at a time when temperatures were dangerously low and citizens were unable to leave their houses or neighborhoods due to the snow accumulation. In addition to extreme temperatures and weather, the power outages caused by these storms resulted in even more dangerous situations. Downed power lines caused inaccessibility and cut off communication for sometimes 10 days or more. Trees fell on top of power lines, creating dangerous situations on the roads. The potential of live wires being exposed at the ground level and widowmakers hanging over roadways and sidewalks. While these situations resulted from two perhaps abnormally large storms, there is continually an issue within Upshur County of power outages in certain areas. The County Commission would like to request of MonPower your utmost care and dedication to maintaining clear right-of-ways over which MonPower alone has control. Most of the situations described above are a direct result of trees falling on top of power lines, which, if controlled, would greatly minimize the damage and danger to Upshur County residents. If there's anything the county can do to assist you in this matter, please know that we are available for discussion. The health and safety of our citizens is of paramount concern, and we feel that their safety and quality of life is directly affected by some of these issues. So that's the letter, and I would ask for a motion that we approve sending this,
I'll make that motion.
and I guess I'll second it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay.
The minutes should reflect that Commissioner Brady abstained due to an ongoing matter with
With the company.
First Energy.
Okay, and that will be so stated. Okay. Follow-up action concerning travel expense paid to Debbie Thacker Wilfong, Clerk of the County Commission. Have we gotten any more?
I have not followed up with
Resolve on
her. I
that
didn't know if
issue?
you'd want to meet with her later on today, later this morning or this afternoon concerning that.
Okay, well, we could do that. We need to get that resolved and out of the way. Next item is approval and adjustments to the assignment of local needs points as to the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, also known as CEDS, for Region 7 Planning and Development Council, pages 3 through 6.
Did talk to Shane Ware with Region 7 Planning Development Council, and the Adrian PSD is still in the process of trying to obtain some grant funds from the Infrastructure Council. It's not Small Cities Block Grant funding, but it is Infrastructure Council grant. So he recommended it to leave Adrian at the 25 or as the top project until that's completed. We have submitted a letter to the West Virginia Development Office, or Mr. Whitehair has on our behalf, requesting to be able to apply for a Small Cities Block Grant this year for the Elkins Road PSD to start that application process. We had to have a waiver, we'll have to have a waiver granted since Adrian was funded this year so we can submit a project. So that is in the process.
Well, thank you for explaining that, because I recall last year during the similar discussion, we had indicated Elkins Road Public Service District would be the primary benefactor from our recommendation.
Well, and it will be on the Small Cities Block Grant.
Correct.
Yes.
So that's the best of both worlds. And it is going to be a long process, as it always is, for Elkins Road. So, so Willie, do we need to look at this project list? What's the deadline on that being submitted?
April, no later than April the 15th.
Have a month.
Okay, well, we can look that over, and we don't have to prove that today, but we do have the last year, so we can look at that and see if there's anything we want to change. And I'd say we'll put that on the agenda for next week, and that'll give us some time for everyone to look it over and make their recommendations. And so consider approval of agreement with the Upshur County Board of Education concerning the Prevention Resource Officer. That's on 7 through 18. If you'd like to explain that, Willie.
There's two agreements there. They're basically, well, they are the same except for one at the high school and one at the middle school. Other than that, they're exactly the same. And it, excuse me, this reduces the writing for the current fiscal year that we are in, that ends in June, of what the expectations are for all parties, because we had a little bit of a misunderstanding or miscommunication on our last quarterly billing. So this would clarify that, and also will require the sheriff's signature. And it would be best if, and I'll have relayed that in an email, that the individuals involved, the two deputies involved, actually maintain, separate documentation as to ours for the Board of Education under the pro officer, and ours for as it relates to law enforcement, that the county commission would be responsible for.
Then will that be the determining factor of how much we pay and how much the board pays?
Yes.
Those timesheets.
Yes.
So I know you mentioned somewhere in that about the snow day. So if there's a snow day, then they work for the county that day? Is that the way that works?
Well, the way the agreement's structured is that the sheriff and the principal would agree of how they would spend that day. If there's reports or incidents that need followed up on, they may be working at their school location, all the day, part of the day, or whatever the case may be. So that'll be decided on an ongoing basis. but the board would be responsible for all the related cost as it relates to health insurance, as to the annual amount they will be paying under this agreement, all of that. We're not going to be prorating the medical insurance because that is a result of the additional position. That's why we incur that expense. The payroll-related cost that fluctuates as it relates to a percentage of payroll, FICA, workers' compensation, retirement, et cetera, would be prorated based on the hours that they work for each entity or at each location.
How would that work as far as the retirement? If they're working for the Board of Education?
Well, everything goes through the county commission. The county commission is still the employer of record. It's just the board would reimburse the county commission for salary and those related costs for their time they spend working at the school location. Everything will still be under the auspice of the Upshur County Commission as it relates to W-2s, retirement, et cetera.
Right.
As the board's just reimbursing a certain percentage of that work.
So all of it will still be under the Deputy Sheriff's retirement system?
Yes. And must be.
Right, they have to be.
The specialized training required for a pro officer will be paid by the county, by the sheriff's department, or by the board?
Be paid by the board.
By the board.
This agreement covers that it would be paid by the board. Any training as it relates to the pro officer position would be paid by the board.
That's a 2-week training period?
Normally so, I do believe, yes. And we were, because I talked to Ms. Smith as it relates, because, tracking is going to be an issue, but as it relates to the potential change in calendars and such that may be coming up, in future fiscal years, there was really no good way to say, mid-August to start through the end of the school year, because that may fluctuate now, depending on what calendar is adopted for future.
So it'll be based on their school calendar?
Yes, it will be based on the school calendar, but that school calendar may change throughout the whole calendar year now.
Are we paying for all the cruiser costs, or is any of that prorated?
No, that's all of our cost.
Okay, any other questions, everybody? Anybody?
The agreement does, in case that the program is terminated, this agreement states that the board would be responsible for any cost involved in that. If, for example, if both positions were eliminated and the county could not absorb the additional cost of maintaining the positions, then if we had a reduction in force, the Board of Education would be responsible for unemployment, et cetera, anything related to that. So,
And if the
don't
grant,
see that happening, but you have to cover that contingency.
if the grant decreases, then they pick up the tab and the difference?
Yes, the agreement is the board pays for any time that they work for the board. It's just that is reduced by any grant funding that would be available.
And they're the applicants for the grants for that program, right?
They track it. We are the applicants. We have to be the applicant.
For the
Right.
pro officer grant?
Pro officer grant, yes. But the board handles the administrative paperwork and
And applying for that and all that?
filling out the grants and applying for it and the reimbursements. They do all the administrative work associated with that, but it has to be on the Upshur County Commission's name
Because it's our employee.
because it's our employee.
Okay, any other questions or comments? If not, then we would need a motion to approve the agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Now second it?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we have notice of public hearing, amendment to enhanced 911 ordinance, 11 a.m. on Thursday, April the 4th. Increase current monthly fee from $265 to residential $450 and business $650. So, and we have our notice of our Upshur County budget hearing starting March the 13th and ending March the 26th. I'm sure a good time will be had by all.
Was there a mistake there or not?
Where's that?
Says the increase from current monthly fee of $265 for residential, $450. I thought that was $285 to $465.
Mr. Parker, would you like to address that question?
Let me double check, but
I thought that I had read that.
We can raise it up if
A printing mistake.
that's your recommendation. We can raise it more. You just want it to be correct, right?
In past,
It was higher.
it was higher.
Well, on occasion.
I believe.
Okay. Well, we can look at there and see what.
my notice is, it's 265 and 450 and 650.
Okay.
I don't know if we've had a mistake on previous agendas. I'd have to go back and see, but
We'll look at,
I
we'll
don't,
look
I
and
don't
see.
remember changing that.
But this is the correct amount. Is that what you
Yes.
said?
That's the firm amount.
Yes.
Okay, that's the amount we're going to consider. Well, we can look back there. It won't be a big problem to look back and see if the,
It was a $1.85 increase, I believe.
maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
63% increase.
Right. Yep. Okay, I think that's all we have on our agenda, unless you gentlemen have anything? Willie, is there anything else?
I did, and I can go over these in more detail later, but you have the evaluation, couple packets on valuations, assessed valuations. The overall valuations did increase of approximately just over 71 million from last year. And you have the breakdown of the different classifications that I can go over that.
And that's following our Board of Equalization Review.
Yeah, these are the
meetings.
finals as a
Right.
result of that. And depending on what you do with the levy rate, I went also, another packet is the rollback levy rate procedure. Of that 71 million, approximately 40 million of that is new property or back tax property that was either new construction or hadn't been on the books before. But if that correlates to a Class 1 levy rate, which there's no Class 1 property, but you still have to establish your Class 1 rate of 14.26 per $100 of assessed valuation. Right now it's 14.23, and then it just doubles for Class 2 to 28.52, and then doubles again for Class 3 and 4 to 57.04, which brings in projected revenue before discounts and et cetera of just over $5,200,000 for the property tax revenue. Time you take exoneration delinquencies, uncollectibles at 5%, tax discounts at 2%, the assessor's valuation fund at 2%, then the net to be raised on property tax is $4,756,723. The maximum levy rate is 14.3, as you gentlemen know, and the steps above that. You could go to that. That would require a hearing, and that would generate approximately $13,000 more in revenue. But I have those where we can go over as we get through our budget information.
Okay. We got our numbers.
There is a meeting Ms. Pomeroy has set up for Wednesday the 13th at 3 p.m. And that's on our first day back, and that's when our budget hearings also start. But the afternoon of Wednesday the 13th concerning a court security grant application has been submitted. or will be submitted. And in addition, Ms. Pomeroy has been busy looking at additional sales as it relates that we did during board review and equalization, additional time periods. The trends still continue as we've found previously, and that information is here, and we can go through that later today, but it appears that approximately 77% of the sales from July 1st, 2011 through June 30th, 2012 that we looked at, just we didn't look at every sale.
Random sampling.
We tried to throw out multi-parcels, anything involving a bank or an attorney, whether we got all those out or in, but, you know, a total of, looks like 100, thank you very much, 281
Sales?
sales that during that time period. 77% were outside the parameters of 90 to 110%. Now, they may have not been valid sales, may not be arm length transactions. We tried to take a look, just, you know, but we don't have all the information. We just have some numbers. But the trend is continuing. So that information is available to review.
Do we know the date the monitor will be? I know it's this
I
month.
tried to
sometime.
call, it may be today, I don't know, that's what I need to find out. And I'll call down here when we take a break to see if that's the case.
Okay. All right, well, I'm sure we have bills to pay, as
You've got some
usual.
paperwork.
So we'll get started on that.